A positive aspect of classical liberalism is that there is high individual freedoms. Individuals have the freedom of expression, to protest, and to own private property, to name a few. Classical liberalism can lead to an increased business profit because privately owned businesses can choose what they invest their money in, and market forces determine prices of goods and services, meaning that they can charge more.
Because of classical liberalism, people were now able to own property and private land without intervention from the government. Classical liberalism drives economic growth because it allows citizens to take part in the decision-making process and have a say on how things will impact them economically.
Because of classical liberalism, taxes were lower and money was able to be saved for both business owners and consumers.
In classical liberalism, the government is laissez-faire or hands-off. The government only steps in using the rule of law. Using this system ensured that no one is above the law and everyone is charged equally.
Businesses now had the freedom to set their own wages and regulations, which allowed for fair competition among business owners.
Classical liberalism brought a system with less government control, and with this change came choice. With the citizens creating their own businesses, new variety and choice was brought into the lives of people living in these economies.
Classical liberalism has a free market economy. This means that companies have the freedom to set their own wages, which are not regulated by the government. Often these wages do not cover the cost of living.
The hands-free government that followed the rise of classical liberalism lacked the welfares and workers' rights that modern liberalism has. The working class ignored filthy and dangerous working conditions with extensive hours and minimal pay, and any rise or union made against the owner was met with being fired and quickly replaced.
During the time of classical liberalism, few people had jobs and many people suffered from unemployment due to the low hiring rate.
In classical liberalism, trickle-down economics, also known as trickle-down theory, was used as a model that they based economics upon. Sadly, a majority of the time, the wealthy prosper as the poor suffer.
A classical liberalism economy can lead to economic uncertainty because it relies upon individual responsibility and is a free market economy, which means there's little protection for employees and often low wages because there's little government involvement.
With less government control, there were no regulations on factory standards, and many factory owners exploited children and forced them through excruciating work hours and cruel work conditions.
Many people invested their money into stock, but when the stock market crashed, people were left with little or no money remaining.
When classical liberalism came into effect, land ownership and factory ownership generated wealth. While the higher class prospered, the lower classes were exploited by the business owners and endured horrible work and living conditions.